So since we're on a bit of a roll with Construction and CCBS LEGO sets, I wanted to talk about the final wave of Bionicle and my overall thoughts on it. I mentioned it in a previous video, but I never actually grew up around the time that Bionicle had tons of new waves of releases. I only ever witnessed Stars, the final wave of the original generation of Bionicle, as well as the G2 re-release. Of course, today we know that G2 didn't work out as well as LEGO expected it to. I don't know the exact reason as to why, especially because I think that it took all of the design strengths of Hero Factory and the iconic story of Bionicle and pieced together a pretty good line of sets. That's besides the point though. I wanted to bring up the last of Construction because of just how lukewarm the final wave seemed to be. This was supposed to be the send-off wave as a final goodbye, although I do want to mention that I am missing Skrull, so I won't really be mentioning him throughout the rest of this video. Looking at our lineup here, we have pretty much all of the major characters throughout the series, from both villains to heroes, at least the ones that LEGO thought they should include. One thing I really like is that the Rockshi is in a different color from the previous generation of sets, while the Paraka is a remake of Vezok in the Av Matoran style. Gresh remade from his appearance the year before during the Glatoran wave. The special thing with these sets were the gold pieces that came in each set, which were used to make a gold accented Tahu figure. It looks pretty cool, and it definitely was a good way to encourage kids and collectors to buy every set just to complete the look. The last hero is Takanuga, who made a reappearance 7 years later in the Av Matoran style. So speaking of Av Matoran, I really don't like how much of a downgrade these sets were from previous years of Bionicle. The first wave had a lot of charm in the simplicity of its designs, and even had some solid play features, but I can't help but to think that this final wave was kind of like a stripped down version of what made Bionicle very aesthetically pleasing. I stole these words from somewhere and I can't remember who. Bionicle began without knees and then ended without knees again. Speaking of knees, I really do not like the quality of these parts. I have dozens of parts sitting in front of me that are exclusively from Star sets, tons of thin cracks at the joints and sockets that made replacing these a nightmare. We really went full circle after having high articulation figures during the peak of Bionicle. It's kinda sad really if you think about it, but I understand in a sense why they needed to do this. As the final wave of Bionicle, it looks like LEGO was trying to get rid of all the molds that they were using for the more high budget Bionicle sets from their factories. This decision, like most of what LEGO does, was decided behind closed doors. The lack of transparency really frustrates me, because there really is no reason not to acknowledge directly with your consumer base why you decided to discontinue a line. LEGO has never been one to acknowledge failures externally. The line just seems to end and everyone accepts it. Even worse, in today's leak-filled social media, we find out even earlier if there are internal plans for LEGO to release another wave of a modern theme. As the final wave of the first generation of Bionicle, I guess it was okay, but it leaves a lot of room to be desired. That's all I have for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next one.